Hi everyone, my name is Maitedon, and I have made a video because I will not be able to be present in class today due to some traveling circumstances. So the article that I read was titled Liminality, Puck's Door by James Calderwood. This article focused on how Puck lived in between reality and myth in Shakespeare's play. Many of the things he mentioned in the article have to do with some of the actions that Puck does in the play and how those actions are seen as a sort of parallel in the real world and the fairy world. One interesting thing about the article was how some of Puck's actions were seen as mundane in the real world but odd in his own. Take for example his use of a broom. While he is at Theseus's castle, the article states that sweeping basically summarizes the whole play in its own way. Puck sweeping out the dirt is seen as a purifying act in which those who enter a threshold purify themselves as they enter the building. This can be seen in different ways, like how people remove their shoes in Japan and other Asian countries. Shakespeare's play messes around with the blurring of reality, and Calderwood wrote that sweeping out the dirt of defiance, jealousy, and hatred allows Helena and Hermia the happy ending they eventually get at the end of the play. Calderwood draws in other connections for the liminality present throughout the play. He states that there is a nagwal, or animal nature, present in the play, and this is seen with Bottom. Bottom was magically transformed into a donkey, and he didn't even realize it aside from his sudden affinity for hay. Later in the play, he is turned back into a human, and he thinks of it more as a dream than reality. He only remembers feeling hairy in the face, but ends up confused about the rest of his transformation. It's interesting to notice that Calderwood also said that Puck literally turned Bottom into a donkey, while unmetaphoring the metaphor thanks to his name. It is also worth noting that Puck is the only being that would be able to transform into any animal without losing his true fairy self. The liminality that Calderwood writes about in the article makes sense to an extent. He also mentions how the moon is liminal and the woods where the lovers go, but I believe those two are liminal to a lesser extent. Puck's actions and the nagwal nature that is mentioned in the article are more prominent in the play, and seem to play a bigger role since Puck is the one meddling with the lovers and turning people into animals without their consent. The nagwal nature is apparent even in the play that Bottom and the rest of the acting crew put on at the end. Snug plays the role of the lion, and there's even a warning in the play letting the audience know that he's not a real lion so that no one will get startled. With this warning, one could say that the liminality being questioned here is whether others will be able to see Snug as his normal self and not an actual lion, or seem like an illusion or magic trick. Calderwood's article presents how Puck lives in both reality and his own mythical world. This is seen through not only his actions like sweeping away the negativity and using magic on others, but the rest of the characters in the play also have a role in blurring the window frame between their reality and the myths that are just a few steps away from them, even if they don't see it. I have also included my discussion questions, which are the following. How does Bottom's transformation into a donkey blur the reality he lives in, and why can't he really notice or acknowledge his transformation? Are there any more actions that Puck performed that would show the liminality that is present throughout the play? Calderwood's article mentioned a sort of window that is present in the play. This window separates the real world from the fairies' world. Do you think this window really exists in the play, and how would you be able to identify it if you're already on the other side of it, if the fairies can't be seen? At the end of the play, Bottom says that if anything offended them during the play, he hopes that they will think of it as nothing more than a dream. What aspects of liminality and dreams are seen in the play that audience members would question whether they are real?